Hey you guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to go from text all the way to 3D model that's ready for games or even for animations. And it's actually incredible how fast this technology is improving. And in this video I'm going to show you my 3 favorite tools for generating 3D models from either text or from images. The thing is, as long as it can go from image to 3D, you're good, because there's so many generators out there that can generate an image from text, but I'm going to show you how to generate the best images for then generating 3D models, because there's a certain way that you should be generating your images so that you're going to get the best quality 3D model. Let's get started. I'm going to start off by actually showing you one of the platforms just right off the bat, and that's Meshy. And Meshy is really cool. There's a lot that you can do with Meshy, and it pumps things out a lot faster than a lot of the other 3D model generators I've seen, but it can be a little bit hit or miss. As you can see, we could do text to 3D, image to 3D, or even you can upload a 3D model and then have it just texture that model for you. So if you want to make a simple model for a game or something, but you don't want to have to do all the texturing and UV mapping and stuff like that, you can just upload it and it'll texture it based on what you tell it to texture. So pretty cool. You can sign up for free and you get free credits every month. These are some of the models that I tried generating. It's been a little while though, so I actually wonder if the models have gotten a bit better. So I want maybe a medieval fantasy silver polished battle pose paladin. And then we get to choose from a few different options. I'm just gonna go with realistic. I've found that I have the best results and it costs 5 credits to generate. And what's cool is it's actually going to generate not 1, but 4 models, but they're kind of like preview models, but they're still usable, you know? If you're doing a game or something that's far away, or you're just making like some concept art or something, or you just need some base meshes, this could actually save you a lot of time. There we go, that took less than a minute. And remember, the 3D models are actually gonna get better and better with the other tools that I'm gonna show you. It's just that this one generates a lot of 3D models. It's a big bang for your buck if you just need a ton of different 3D models and options. But look, we've got 4 different options to choose from here, and you could always go and edit them. It's interesting how I put them all on bases, and I wonder if it's because I used the word paladin, which that one's interesting. If you just cut off the bottom, that's a decent model right there. We're going to go ahead and refine this one, and it's just going to cost us an additional 20 credits. So I'm going to click refine here, and it will take a little bit longer, but still not nearly as long as some of the other ones that I'm going to show you. The next 3D generation platform I'm going to show you is called CSM, and they've built something that they call Cube. This one works with credits as well, but what I've found is that although it takes way longer to generate models, it tends to generate way better models. Once again, it especially works well with humanoid models, but like these are some images that I generated, and I'm going to show you how to generate images like this that are very easy to work with inside of the 3D modeling platforms, and it really doesn't confuse the 3D modeling platform, so you've got like extra limbs and joints and stuff. Now, Cube is cool. You've got an actual text to image generator inside, or you can go text to 3D, which is pretty much going text to image and then image to 3D. But these are some of the images that I created, some of them inside this platform, some of them in another platform. If you have a bad background that confuses it, then you do get a pretty trash 3D model, and it actually bakes some of that darkness into the model too, which you don't want. I'll show you how to actually get images where you have a very static, very easy to detect background so that it can just remove that background and then generate the model. But real quick, let's look at some of these sci-fi mech robot things that I created. And this is a pretty cool looking image, but it actually did a pretty good job of generating the model once again. Now, if you look at it from far away, then you know that this is a pretty good looking model. If you look at it from up close, not so much. But there's one other platform that I think does an even better job than the Cube app. One more model here, pretty good job. Pretty good job. And once again, we can see that the geometry, I would say, is better than what you get in Meshy. Meshy's geometry is much more flat. So if you're going for 3D printing or 3D modeling, or you want to have more detail in the actual geometry of the mesh, you're going to get better results in the Cube app than you are in Meshy. Now, if you have a business or you're building a business where you do want to actually sell some kind of a service like generating 3D models for people or coaching, or you're a contractor or something like that, go check out simplesales.io. While that's going, let's look at some of my other models that I've generated in Meshi. This was a model that I refined, and notice how it looks incredibly detailed, but when we look at the actual material preview in the wireframe, a lot of those details don't actually exist on the mesh. So if you're trying to do 3D printing from this, it's gonna look like this. It's gonna look pretty plain, not a lot of detail on it. But when you get the actual PBR textures on it, it looks a lot better. And you could almost imagine this in like an actual video game, like from maybe like this distance or something, it would actually look decent. This one here was pretty good, except that he's very skinny. His body's very skinny, but from the side, he looks very good. The last platform that I want to show you for generating 3D models, you're gonna get the absolute best results. Let's take a look at what some other people have generated. I thought this one was a lot of fun. So they imported an image. We'll start with a text input and see what we get. And they imported this 3D render of Haunter, and it came out with this. From one picture, it generated that 3D model. Isn't that crazy? I think it's kind of crazy. Now, obviously, it messed up a couple things. It messed up the texturing of the eye here, but this one's really interesting. It's like a turtle with a cannon on it. And what I'm noticing with Rodin compared to the other ones is that it seems to do really well, even with stylized images and even things that are not, you know, human-like. Oh my freaking goodness. It got like every detail. And it did a good job of adding some detail back here too that is not in the image. This is incredible. This is really good. And it even looks like kind of like illustrated style. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is probably the best one that I have seen so far. Let's start generating something. What do we want to generate, guys? Okay, here's the prompt. A futuristic hovering motorcycle with a sleek aerodynamic body. The motorcycle should have glowing blue energy lines running along its frame, minimalistic yet high-tech controls, no visible wheels. If you can't tell, I got this from ChatGPT. It should appear to be levitating a few inches off the ground with a faint light emitting from its underside. Oh, wow, look at that. And it did a decent job at generating an image with a plain background, but actually that's not as good as I would hope for. Now, if the model itself, like the hyperhuman rodent model, is good at removing background, then we shouldn't have any issues, but still, let's just try it. That was fast. Okay, so what this does is it creates a sample. I can't believe how accurate that is. That is insanity. I'm gonna have to do another video just on this platform. That is so accurate. What the heck? If you get good at generating images, dude, if you get good at generating the images exactly the way that you want to, so that it generates a 3D model the way that you need it to, then it's just game over there. Now, unfortunately, we actually do have mesh issues, and I'm guessing this is because of the image. Look at this right here. There's not a lot of information, not a lot of detail that it can really grab from this up here. It's like, what do I do with this up here? It's just so shiny and bright that it's just white. Like, what's supposed to be there? And I think that's exactly why it actually struggled with the mesh up here on top. So I'm actually gonna go back. I'm gonna show you how we can generate better images that we're in control of using Leonardo. Leonardo is especially designed for generating images, not 3D, but you have way more control than you do in most other platforms. We're going to use something in Leonardo, which is relatively new, called the real-time canvas. And CSM also has a real-time canvas, but you have a lot more control here in Leonardo. So basically, on this side you draw, and on this side, as you draw, it's going to try to generate an image based on your prompt. So let's do a prompt of a silly puppy. Now what's interesting is that you also have this creativity strength here. So this is basically saying, hey, when you generate the image based on my drawing, this is how creative you're allowed to be. And it's not very creative right now, so it can't really generate anything from just my white background. And here's the thing, when you generate images, it's going to start with a black background. If I erase, it would actually be a black background. This is a no-no. Do not do this if you're trying to generate 3D models from these images. A black background will get the 3D model generator confused as to where the edge of your model is, especially when there's shadows. Like, kind of like this, for example, to be honest. And we could add more creativity. But look, what have we done here? It's going to be really difficult for it to tell where the model ends, and it also causes a lot of shading issues when it's generating the textures. So I highly, 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 so highly recommend that every time that you're trying to generate a 3D model from an image, you start with a white background and you build off of that. You're like, but what if I wanted a black puppy? Well, we just draw. And I'm just going to draw a little bit right here. Just something super simple. And we've got a silly puppy. And if you draw a little bit more, it's just going to go based off of whatever you draw. We could add even more creativity so that it just kind of goes more based off of the text prompt instead of the drawing. Or if you want it to really go closely off the drawing, then you just remove some of the creativity and you get a really creepy looking puppy. Just keep increasing it and increasing it. And, oh my gosh. What's cool too is that you can now take this and turn it into your drawing. Just be careful not to overuse this because then it'll kind of screw things up. But look, so now this is my drawing, and then it's allowed to be a bit creative, and then this is what it created based on that. And sometimes I'll even go, oh, whoops. I don't erase, I pretty much always just use drawing with white. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, it's so cute. Oh my goodness. It just keeps getting cuter. And then we can hit this button, and I don't know why this is free, but it's free. This whole thing, it doesn't use any credits. I don't really get it. We'll take this puppy over into Hyperhuman and see what we get. Before we do, always, always, always make sure there's no extra limbs. There's nothing that looks like an extra limb. And if you really just need to like delete things or remove things just to make sure that it's not misinterpreting your image, then just use Leonardo. You know, we're gonna go back and we're gonna go into what's called the Canvas Editor. This is Leonardo's Canvas Editor. So basically you can upload an image, and I'm just gonna upload that most recent image. Oh, look how cute it is. I could show you at a later time all the details about how to use this, but basically if you want to just mask out certain parts of your images, don't know why that's being buggy, you can. And I'm just gonna say pure white background. In paint strength will be 1, and I can teach you how to do all this later on. So let's take our puppy into Hyperhuman, and it's so cute. We're gonna generate and see what. I'm actually really excited to see how this turns out. One problem I actually foresee, because I didn't take as much time to really try to get the puppy the way that we should have. Yep, this is exactly what I was gonna say. Holy crap. He's so fluffy. The fact that his legs are together in the image, we should have taken more time to actually try to generate an image that the legs are separate. But that's fine for right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and confirm it. You can actually hit this redo button, and you get up to 10 free redos per generation, I believe. Okay, I don't know. I've changed some of the options here, and I'm gonna redo it one more time. And now we'll go ahead and generate the model. So here's the model, and what's interesting about this platform is that it does do quad-based topology, and it does it pretty well. That's pretty good. At least for like an AI-generated 3D model, you know? It's not professional quality. Now, we'll just generate a PBR for 1 additional credit. So you realize you can sell this as a service, right? When somebody wants like a 3D model of their dog or something like that, yeah, you can make that happen. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome AI content, and I will see you in the next one. Till next time, keep it simple.